welcome. You're watching CNN News 18. I'm Anusha Soni. Our top focus this hour. Interesting turn of events. The Chinese media outlet Global Times has published an article which praises India's strides in economic development, social governance and foreign policy under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The article acknowledges India's robust economic growth, improvements in urban governance, and a shift in the attitude towards international relations. The article also commends India's proactive approach in fostering a Bharat narrative, emphasizing the nation's strategic confidence. Remember, this article is written by Zhang Jiadong, the director of Center for South Asian Studies at the Fudan University, Shanghai. And this particular publication is considered to be backed by the administration, the CCP. Listening to the voices, to the reactions coming in, we'll also connect to our colleague.
चाइना को कितना समझ है भारत के बारे में, वो असेस कहाँ कर सकते हैं कि चाइना को कितना समझ है भारत के बारे में, वो असेस कहाँ कर सकते हैं.
My colleague Akash joining us on the broadcast. Akash, how should we understand this praise coming in from the unexpected quarters?
Right, unexpected because it is quite surprising because of the kind of relation that we share with China and especially the kind of activities that we have seen in the past few years.
Yeah.
But yes, definitely it is somewhere showing you the strength and the kind of work that the current government is doing. That in fact, neighbor like China is praising the Bharat narrative. In fact, in this particular article, which is an editorial of the Global Times state-run, a publication of China, it is talking about the approach towards the economy and towards the sustainable development in India, and also the kind of work that the current government is doing. It is also talking about, the current time in comparison with what Bharat was just 4 years back.
Yeah.
It is quite surprising, but again, it is somewhere showing you the actual image and the actual condition of how we are, moving towards a developed country, how India is moving towards a fastest growing economy as the current government and the leaders claim.
Absolutely. Let me try and connect with Abhishek Jha as well. Abhishek, two things are given. One is that this is coming in from the unexpected quarters. We don't expect the Chinese to appreciate us. That's not the kind of relationships we have had in the past and in the recent times. The second bit is the timing of it. We are very close to the general elections. What is the subtext of this?
Well, two things. First, of course, Prime Minister Modi's almost 10 years of leadership, where India has now emerged as a major economy, fourth or fifth largest economy, a country which is supplying manpower worldwide, a country which has become a highly appreciative destination for global funds, inflow funds. We know that we have achieved a record inflow of foreign funds in the last year, and also a country which has maintained its neutrality. Remember, after the non-aligned movement, it was believed that the neutrality in the world geopolitics is a past thing. But despite the last 2 years of global multiple conflicts, we have seen Russia-Ukraine conflict, China-Taiwan tension, conflict that is happening right now in the Middle East, India has maintained not only neutrality, but also a relationship that has a diplomatic ties with all the countries. Remember, we have a diplomatic ties with North Korea as well. Despite USA and North Korea being the arch rivals, or adversary, we have a diplomatic relationship with Iran also, Israel also, and Palestine also. So, External Foreign Minister has just had a conversation, the first conversation with the Ukrainian Foreign Minister just 2 days ago. At the same time, he was last week he was in Russia. So, this is the kind of diplomacy that India has been able to maintain on both sides, bipartisan. And that is what has become an influential position of India in the global geopolitical scenario, where the world knows that India can not only be a messenger from one side to the other, but also can be an influencer, which can shape the narrative, which can shape the global policies.
Well, our strength on those counts, Abhishek, has always existed. I mean, I believe Mr. Ashok Sajjanar is also joining us on the broadcast. Good morning, sir. Thank you for speaking with us. India's rise and the kind of economic strides, the social development that the government is focused upon is a thing which is a persistent effort for the last 10 years. We have not waited for the Chinese to appreciate it, neither do we need it geopolitically or internally as a nation. What explains this compliment coming in from a neighbor like China? What's your reading of it, sir?
You're very right. I think, number one, we need to see that China really should not be trusted at face value. What they are
Exactly.
saying, it might be just, as they say, one swallow does not a summer make. I would like to see whether this is signifies a considered change as far as their thinking, as far as their view of India is concerned, and will it translate into a change in the policy? As far as our border discussions are concerned, meaning now that's been going on. This is the fourth winter that we are going to be at. Our troops are going to be in Galwan. So, and 20 rounds of commander level talks, MCC meetings, etc. I would like to see whether there's going to be any change in that, or this is just basically, trying to pander to India's that we are saying good things about you and trying to get whatever they want out of India. But India should not definitely, take note of it, all right, but wait for something more concrete and change on the ground from China for it to be real. Of course, one could also say that there are problems within China that are taking place, both internal security issues that we've seen, whether it's the removal of the foreign minister, of the minister, the senior generals
Mr.
from
Sajjanar,
Rockport, etc.
as you
And their
mentioned,
economy is
sir.
not doing well.
Yeah, Mr. Sajjanar, as you
Yeah.
mentioned earlier, that Chinese should not be taken on the face value. They are not the nation that practice the old adage of walking your talk or coming through on your word. They never walk the talk. They say something, they do
Yeah, yeah.
something else.
And they are deceitful. They're deceitful.
They're
I think let's
deceitful.
put it
Yeah,
this
I
way.
think let's
Yeah,
let's put it this way. From a
yeah.
deceitful neighbor, if a compliment comes in, you rightly say we should not really trust it. The fact that here in India, we are also in a very crucial time, just about 2-3 months away from the general elections. That also makes it a very, very sensitive time. India has been very strongly positioning itself in the geopolitical landscape, and to tame the Chinese dragon has been the common agenda of the India and the US. Are there internal factors which are responsible for the Chinese change of tone and tenor that you're witnessing? Because you pointed out that their economy is not doing well. We have seen the recent spate that happened with their foreign minister as well.
Yeah, it could be, but what I have seen both, two times when Shin was there, then Wang Yi when he came here for the meetings, SCO and G20,
Yeah.
and also when Li Xiang came here for the G20 summit. We have not seen any change as far as the most fundamental issues are concerned. Because what is the fundamental issue today between India and China?
Yeah.
That situation on the border.
Yeah.
And we have told them that unless that normalizes, you cannot have business as usual. Now, I would like to see whether this translates into something,
Okay.
some change on the border as far as China is concerned.
So I want to go to the part and focus a bit on this, which is the LAC. Various efforts have gone on. There are multiple different level, meetings that have been held at the foreign minister level, at the co-commander level, and yes, the friction between the two sides has come down. The situation has de-escalated, but it is not status quo ante that India has persistently demanded. Would we be reading too much if we anticipate or if we expect the Chinese to soften their position along the LAC?
Yes, I think we'll be reading too much
Okay.
at the moment, and particularly when they feel that some sort of as far as relations between the two countries are concerned, if they were to sort of get normalized, this would definitely be a boost as far as the current ruling dispensation in India, Prime Minister Modi, is concerned.